16-year-old LaMelo, because we're past Lonzo. Mm-hmm. He's going to do his thing for the Lakers, for Michael Eaves' Lakers. LaMelo, he doesn't need college. Doesn't need the NCAA. We're going to focus on shoes. He's going to have a shoe, LeVar said, during his son's 16th birthday party, held at an event space at the Chino Airport. Where was your 16th birthday held? Was it at an event space?
No. My 16th birthday, my dad took me to a Mets-Reds game for my 16th birthday because I was a huge Darryl Strawberry fan. So that was in Cincinnati, a city I absolutely can't stand. I'll say that about Cincinnati.
Nice.
But no, I was not in a space in Chino Airport, no.
Yeah, I think I was I think we were at home. I think we were eating cake.
Yeah, I know where you were not. You were not at a block party.
I was not at a block party.
Not at a block party.
Here, LeVar going on saying NCAA ain't going to tell me bleep. Four letters, start with an SH, because they're not my boss. That's what they do, but they're not going to be like, oh, LeVar, you can't bring that shoe out until we tell you. What? Something that I'm doing for my family? That's mine? I'm not under no umbrella. And LaMelo Ball's shoe, the MB1, available Thursday for pre-order. You want to guess the price?
$350.
Over, $395, but you were close.
Is that right?
$395. Yes, he's 16 years old. 16 years old. What do you make of this? Thumbing his nose, seemingly, at the NCAA.
Good for him, because the NCAA and the way it does things, I think, is beyond idiotic. The way it tries to control only a certain few select people as it relates to the multi-billion-dollar industry that it is. And it's usually just men's basketball and college football, because baseball players can have contact with agent and it not destroy their eligibility. When Tiger Woods was at Stanford, his dad got a job with Nike based on Tiger's future earnings. It did not affect Tiger's eligibility. It's only these revenue-producing sports where the NCAA tries to limit the earning access, the earning potential, I should say, of the student athletes themselves, while everyone else seems to get rich off it. I shouldn't say everyone else, but most people get rich off it. The coaches definitely, athletic directors, schools in general get rich off these kids, but yet the kids themselves can't profit on it. Last time I checked, this is a capitalist nation. Our economy is built on consumption, and that's how we run our lives, but yet these kids can't do it because other people need that money.
All right, I thought when I heard this, I said, listen, LeVar's being selfish. He's precluding his son from a college experience, even if it is only for a year, which is what it was for Lonzo. It's probably going to be that way for LaMelo. Why would he rob his kid of doing this? It's so. And I thought, listen, we've seen LaMelo. Remember when he was on Raw on WWE, and they loved their father.
Without question,
they are big cheerleaders for their dad, and
without question,
it was cool to see that, and I'm glad I got to see it because I was sort of in my own world where I thought, man, he's not acting with his kid's best interest at heart, and how could he be such a selfish guy selling out his kids for $1? Everybody's on the same team here. Everybody's on the same brand, the Baller brand. It's a family brand, so I have to believe he ran this by LaMelo with regard to talking about LaMelo's own college experience. But I also thought he's done. He cannot play college hoops. According to Stephen A. Smith, I am mistaken.
LaMelo doesn't have to go to college on a scholarship. He can go as a walk-on. He can go as a walk-on, devoid of scholarship money, okay? Walk on to the basketball team. He could take out a loan that'll pay for his education for that 1 year, still put additional dollars in his pocket, and the NCAA couldn't do a damn thing about it. And so what I'm saying is, if that's what LaVar Ball is alluding to, I applaud it, because I also applaud the fact that if the NCAA tried to get in the way of it in any way, it reeks of hypocrisy, and they should be called to the carpet for it, condemned for it, and made to make amends for it.
That's Stephen A. Smith on LaMelo Ball, perhaps not needing to worry about the NCAA with regard.
Keyword there, hypocrisy. He's absolutely right.
He's absolutely right.
In all seriousness, I made that joke, but I'm kind of talking myself out of my own argument. At some point, your whole life's a reality show. At some point, when you can, and LaVar Ball can, command media attention the way that you do, your life is a reality show. It plays out on ESPN. It plays out on Fox Sports. It plays out on... Gosh, it almost plays out on the Today Show, Good Morning America, when your every move, your every hype, your every prediction, your every stupidity is aired for the world to see. What more do you need a polished 30-minute version of that? By the way, does Facebook do 30-minute shows? What do you do when you bust out of the entire television paradigm of ads and the whole thing? But why do you need it? On the other hand, they have shown they can command attention and people will be tuning in. I mean, I'm interested. I'm kind of interested. These guys are geniuses at commanding attention. And here's the thing. Here's the kicker for me. There's something real behind it all. And that's Lonzo Ball. I'm a believer. Behind all the hype, behind all the nonsense, there's a basketball player that I think is amazing.
I'm being told that in the ring, Floyd Mayweather just said, as we expected, he announced officially he is retiring Stephen A. Smith. He will do so at 50-0, the magical mark. He surpasses the great Rocky Marciano. Give us your initial take on the fight tonight.
Well, I got to give Conor McGregor credit for lasting this long. He deserves a hell of a lot of credit. He never fought professionally as a fighter, and to last as long as he lasts deserved a lot of credit. I thought he won the first 2 rounds. I think it was the 8th or the 9th round I had even. Outside of that, Floyd Money Mayweather stalked him tirelessly. He kept coming. He was blocking a lot of shots. He was making him miss a lot of shots. Didn't quite understand why he was turning his back to him and putting himself in a position to get chopped in the back of the head. I guess he wanted to expose the fact that Conor McGregor might, just innately employ UFC tactics or whatever the case may be. But in the end, I just thought that Conor McGregor was out on his feet. He got out of gas. He was taking some good shots, no doubt. He was hurt. But more than that, he was exhausted. He had never been in a boxing match. UFC 5-minute rounds is entirely different than 12 3-minute rounds. Floyd knew that, obviously. He's an expert at this. You came into his domain, and he worked it against them by making sure he punched himself out, because that's what he did. Conor was pity-patting a lot. He wasn't throwing a lot of solid punches after the first 2 rounds. Wasn't hurting Floyd at all because he really wasn't throwing punches. He was just keeping his arms out there, and his posturing, the distance on his footwork, the way he held his hands and just throwing it out there like that. He wasn't really punishing Floyd, allowing Floyd to stalk him, and Floyd just wore him down.
I'm being told that Conor McGregor, and this might not come as a surprise, he believes the fight was stopped too soon. Tom, what was the end of that? What was the rest of that? He said, he would say in the ring, don't stop it, let the man put me down, meaning Floyd. So McGregor, we're not surprised by this. He thought the fight was stopped too early. You have a take on that?
It could have gone maybe a little bit longer. I think it was the end of the round when the fight was stopped. It could have gone a little bit longer, but at the same time, in any combat sport, I'd rather be stopped 1 too soon than 1 too late, where we're having a different conversation.
I will say this. I do think Conor McGregor has a point in this regard, Andre. He's a UFC fighter, and we see them inflict a lot more punishment than you get in the sport of boxing, just getting punched in your face. That's not to diminish a boxer and what he brings to the table in any way. But if you're Conor McGregor, think about the fight he had with Nate Diaz. Think about something like that. Just blood everywhere, even though it was mostly Nate Diaz. The point is elbows, kicks, punches, etc. A boxer saying what he said, we don't want to hear it. You understand the rules of the game and what comes with it. But I'm not surprised at all to hear that from a UFC fighter, because his attitude is, as long as I'm standing up, I got a chance to survive, and I should be given that chance. I can understand that coming from a UFC fighter. I do not agree with him. I think he was out on his feet. He was about to be finished officially. Nevertheless, him saying that, I harbor no ill will towards it. I can understand where he's coming from.
You keep saying Conor McGregor, UFC fighter, and I get that. Should this change Conor McGregor's mind? We see him back in the boxing ring.
No.
Hey, this is his first ever sanctioned boxing match. Did fairly well. Took Floyd Mayweather to 10 rounds. You think we see Conor McGregor back in the square circle?
Personally, I think this is one and done.
Yeah.
Take the money, take the opportunity. You showed yourself well. You put up a good fight. Leave it alone. If you want to continue to fight, go back to the octagon.
Let me say it more bluntly. I totally agree with Andre. He's absolutely right. If Conor McGregor was in the ring tonight against Triple G, against Canelo Alvarez, he'd have been put to sleep early. Right. You understand? Because the pity-pat punches and just leaving your arms out there and just, and Floyd pretty much blocking that stuff as opposed to really throwing haymakers at you. I mean, it would have been an entirely different story. Let me say this. I think Floyd Money Mayweather, I'm glad he retired, because the way he looked tonight, he needs to retire, because there's a lot of young lions that would have beat him tonight the way that he looked. He was throwing a lot of overhand rights that were not connecting, a lot of left hooks that were not connecting. He was connecting with his body shots, but he wasn't connecting with the real power punches. And against a seasoned professional expert fighter, a boxer, Floyd Money Mayweather he might have gotten himself hurt the way he looked tonight. So Conor McGregor, again, he did a good showing. He put forth a good showing for himself. But let's not get carried away. Take your behind back to the UFC. Play in that sport. That's your lane. Stay there. This is not for him.
And he proved his point, as you said. He can
but he
go
deserves
back,
credit.
He can go back with his head held high.
Held high.
We do have the scoring, I believe, from the official scoring. 89-81 from the first judge, 89-82 for the second judge, and 87-83 for the third judge.
I personally had it a little bit closer. I probably had Floyd up by maybe 3 rounds, something like that. Not quite that wide. But again, these are professional boxing judges. They're used to seeing fighters throw punches a certain kind of way, so maybe that affected them. McGregor didn't throw orthodox punches. There wasn't a lot of power on him. It wasn't a lot of precision. It was more volume than anything. And because Floyd didn't throw a lot of punches, it looked like McGregor maybe was doing more than what he was doing. But I had it just a tad closer than that.
Well, listen, I had Floyd winning the fight by at least 3 rounds. I didn't have him winning by 8 or 9. I gave Conor the first 2. I gave him an additional round. I think one of those rounds may have been even, actually. And I had Floyd winning by about 5 rounds. In the end, what it comes down to is this. Conor McGregor was throwing punches in the first 2 rounds. Caught Floyd with a nice uppercut early on in the fight. But for the most part, they were pity-pat punches throughout the latter part of the fight. He was literally going like this. He was knocking them in the back of the head, and he was just patting it down or just throwing something out there. Wasn't even throwing a real jab. And again, a fighter that has knockout power, that comes and throws with intent, would have taken him out much, much earlier because he didn't pose any resistance in that regard.
So in the end, this is the ultimate. I asked Andre this earlier. This is a win-win, right? McGregor does himself proud.
Yeah.
And Mayweather did enough to go out 50-0.
Absolutely. Well, I wouldn't say 50-0. I may disagree with a lot of people.
You're not going to count this one?
I'm not counting this as 50-0. I think we saw that Mayweather was in the ring with someone who never boxed professionally before. And that's not taking any credit. Conor McGregor deserves a lot of credit for surviving this long, taking a punch, showing his conditioning, etc. He did some things that were good, but ultimately he is not a boxer. He is a fighter. That's what I saw tonight. Floyd didn't capture 50-0 against a boxer. He caught it against a fighter. Y'all can go ahead and count that y'all want to. I'm not doing it.